On September 4, the KP Sharma Oli government of Nepal banned 26 major social media and messaging apps. Think Facebook, Insta, WhatsApp, YouTube, and X, because they did not register under a 2023 law aimed at regulating online platforms. The government said it was about curbing misinformation, scams, and content disrupting social harmony. Like many other nations of the world, Nepal too has been trying to get a grip on the digital world for a while. And this rule, backed by a Supreme Court order from mid-August, told the companies to set up shop locally, like maintain an office where someone responsible can be contacted. If, for example, someone is a victim of defamation, or if the government wants action in the interest of law and order, there should be a compliance and grievance redressal official from these platforms sitting in Kathmandu. Something exactly similar has been done in India, in fact, and everyone has complied. Only that in the case of Nepal, despite multiple extensions of the deadline, none did except for TikTok and Viber. The Oli government snapped after the last deadline of August 28 and came out with the ban order on September 4. For the government, it seemed like a simple executive fiat to enforce a law with the backing of the topmost score of the country. Something similar had already happened at a smaller scale. TikTok was banned for 9 months until it complied, and Telegram was thrown out of the country for its failure. Oli and his advisors thought perhaps this mass banning too would get the big corporations to act. So far, so good. But with over 90% of Nepal's internet traffic tied to social media, the sheer number of people affected by the decision was huge. Add to it the fact that increasingly, while we associate those social media apps with entertainment and time pass, there is important social angle of education, of commerce, and communication connected. The ban hit hard. Discontent was immediate. With about 10% of Nepal's population living abroad as migrants or a temporary workforce, millions of Nepalis rely on these apps to chat with families back home. Migrant workers send home a third of the country's GDP as remittances, run businesses, or just stay entertained. Some fuel to the smoldering embers was added by usual suspects like the Amnesty International, which cried foul and called the decision aimed more at curbing democratic rights and free speech. So when the access vanished, the youth, especially Gen Z, hit the streets. That's why this got branded as a Gen Z riot. By September 8, protests erupted in Kathmandu and beyond. 19 were killed on day one, making the situation more explosive. The Oli government completely misread the situation. It stood in a stupor like a hare caught in the headlights of a speeding car coming its way. There was complete collapse of law and order machinery, and the intelligence failed to anticipate the scale of the mobilization. As Prime Minister Oli dug in his heels, refusing to roll back the ban despite day one of mayhem, second day turned into a horrific disaster. Every minister or politician the protesters could lay their hands on was badly beaten up. Even their families were not spared. Every institution faced the wrath of the mob. The parliament was gutted. The Supreme Court was burnt. The Prime Minister's office turned to smoke and ashes. Oli had to resign in disgrace. Before his resignation letter, he did take back the ban, but it was too late. Over 30 lives had been lost, and hundreds are still injured in clashes with the police and army. A tenuous calm prevails as the Nepal army, the only institution that preserved its stature and dignity, polices the streets and brokers stocks at the same time to get the government back on track. What began as an outcry against the social media ban turned into a complex web, angst, anxieties, and frustrations coming out of a society that feels shortchanged by its political class. Let us look at the issues one by one. Gen Z first. They are the digital first generation born after the Y2K and became the name and face of the violence that engulfed Nepal this week. For most of them, a substantial part of their existence is lived online. It's a self-contained universe which the bans brought crashing down. That they are addicted would be an understatement. The violence was a withdrawal symptom, living a virtual life with its associated uncertainty and directionlessness. They might not have even realized that their quest for reels has had real-world consequences. Look at this video of a protester dancing with what seems like properly choreographed moves with the Prime Minister's residence going up in flames in his backdrop. This is the zeitgeist of the times they live in. The real is real. Even a riot situation, the camera is the prop. Slash and burn is their idea of justice, not due process of law. Those pictures were horrific. There can't be romance to it. Connected with this virtual world dystopia of the Gen Z is the physical world want of a job. You can live and breathe reels, but you need bread in your stomach. That's where the Nepali polity and governance come in. With an unemployment rate of over 20%, a stagnating economy, corruption in government, nepotism in politics, it was always a tinderbox waiting for a match.